Hi learners! Today I want to talk to you about diagramming sentences. This is the first in a series of lessons about how to diagram a sentence. If you haven't already watched the video about why diagramming is important, I'd suggest starting there, but it's not required. Today, we're going to talk about simple sentences. We're going to talk about sentences that have one subject and one verb. The subject of a sentence is who or what the sentence is about. If I say that Stuart is the coolest kid in school, Stuart is who the sentence is about. If I say that book is mine, book is what the sentence is about. The verb, of course, is what the subject is or does. Stuart is, book is, Stuart kicked, etc. The simplest sentences, the ones that we will work with today, have one subject and one verb. However, there might be multiple words within that one subject or multiple words within that one verb. It's still a simple sentence because it just has one of each. Let me show you an example of a simple sentence. Fish swim. That's a simple sentence because it has one subject, fish, and one verb, swim. Just one of each. When I'm diagramming a sentence, no matter how complicated it is, I always start by finding the subject and the verb. A later video will show you what to do if there's multiple subjects. We're just starting with one of each. When I diagram this sentence, fish swim, I start by drawing a horizontal line on my paper. Then I draw a vertical line. Notice how the vertical line goes underneath my horizontal line. The subject goes here. The verb goes here. I keep capital letters the same, but I ignore punctuation. There is the sentence, fish swim, diagrammed. Let's try another one. Here's another simple sentence. Cats meow. My subject, who or what the sentence is about, is cats. I label it with an S to show that it's my subject. My verb, what the subject is or what the subject does, my verb is meow. So I label it with a V to show that it's my verb. When I diagram, I have a long horizontal line and a vertical line that goes underneath that horizontal line. My subject goes in the box in the upper left. My verb goes in the box in the upper right. I keep capital letters the same. Capital C in cats, meow, but I ignore punctuation. There is cats meow diagrammed. Let's try one more. This is also a simple sentence. Now, keen-eyed viewers at home, you notice, wait a minute, there's 3 words here. What's up with that? I'll tell you what's up with that. We start by finding the subject, who or what the sentence is about. In this case, students. Mark it with an S. Now, you're looking at this, and if you're thinking, what are the students doing? Well, they're learning, right? So here's my verb. But here's the thing. Verbs are tricky. Sometimes a verb will have a helping verb with it, or in this case, this is called a modal auxiliary verb. Very fancy term, right? Modal auxiliary verbs go with the main verb. So both of these will learn, both of those are considered the verb. When I diagram it, it's the same as before, I just have 2 words to go in the verb section instead of just one, because one of them is a modal auxiliary. It goes with the main verb. So I have my subject, students, and my whole verb, both words, will learn. Let's try another one. All right, getting a little bit longer, but it's still a simple sentence. We still have one subject and one, in this case, it's a verb phrase, but we consider it to be one verb. My subject is games. Verb will be played. That whole chunk of words there, that whole thing counts as the verb. All of this, all three words, verb. And there's my diagram. Games will be played. That whole thing is the verb. Starting to make sense? I sure hope so, because you're going to help me with the next ones. You are going to get a piece of paper or a whiteboard or a scrap of paper. Google Slides also works really well for this, I found. And you are going to try it before I put the answer up. See if yours matches mine. Here's your sentence. Squirrels chase. Start by marking the subject and the verb. Where's the subject? Where's the verb? Draw out that diagram. All right, check your work. How'd you do? Yeah, pretty good. All right, let's do another one. Try this one. Birds have been chirping. Start by finding and then marking subject and verb. You've got 4 words in this sentence. What are you going to do? All right, check it out. Are you close to mine? You starting to get it? All right, we're going to do one more together. All right, here's our sentence. Dinner will be eaten. Go ahead, mark the subject, mark the verb. Go ahead and diagram it. Check your answer. Did you remember to capitalize the D in dinner? Ooh, I'm willing to bet somebody didn't. Make sure you capitalize that D in dinner. We keep the capitalization the same. All right, for the next 3 sentences, I'm going to put all 3 original sentences on the board all at once. You're going to diagram them. Test yourself. Test your knowledge. How are you doing? See if you can get them before you check your answers. All right, test yourself. Horses jump. People were dancing. No one was singing. Pause the video if you need to. Diagram those sentences and then check your answers in just a moment. Check your answers. Did you catch that no one is one subject, even though it does have 2 words that go with it? Yeah, it's just like the verbs that have multiple words that go with them, the verbs that have a modal auxiliary or a helping verb. All right, so if you encounter this, no one, that is one subject. All right, another note, sometimes when people are learning to diagram, they don't always draw the line all the way underneath. That's okay, just extend it out once you realize how much space you need. That's perfectly okay. The other thing I would recommend is doing diagramming in pencil, because just like math, it's a lot easier to erase a pencil when you make a mistake, if you make a mistake, than it is to cross out the whole thing if you've done it in pen. Maybe not as critical for this first lesson, subjects and verbs, but as we get farther along, you'll see that it's a little bit more complicated. Sometimes you put things in the wrong place and then you need to go back and fix it. There's no shame in that. I'd like to wrap up with a connection to real-world writing, because it's very easy to take a look at this diagramming and say, when am I going to need this in real life? And, you know, unless you're an English teacher, you probably won't. But you will need the concepts. You will need the understandings that come with diagramming of subjects and verbs. For example, all complete sentences must have a subject and verb in them in order to be a complete sentence. There needs to be at least one subject, at least one verb in order to be a sentence. So try this in your own writing. Try this in a book that you're currently reading. Open up to a random page, pull up a random sentence, find the subject, find the verb. I guarantee there will be at least one of each, or it's not a complete sentence. If you're a student and you are receiving feedback from your teacher on your writing and your teacher is saying incomplete sentence, or fragment, sentence fragment, you are missing either a subject or a verb. So go back and reread that sentence, look for the subject, look for the verb, and figure out which is missing. Finally, subjects and verbs are the foundation of all sentence construction and of all diagramming skills going forward. In order to be successful with diagramming advanced concepts, in order to be successful with writing more advanced sentences, you must have a strong foundation in subjects and verbs. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Happy writing!